Well, congratulations to the class of 2024. It's an honor to stand here with you today, celebrating not just the accomplishments that have brought you here, but also the journey that lies ahead. You know, a journey into one of the most interesting and really opportune times that aerospace has ever seen. You know, 2 years ago, I was on this stage. I talked about the glory days of aerospace innovation from really the 1950s through the 1980s. You know, the space race that culminated in the Apollo moon landings, you know, to the SR-71 Blackbird, to the Concorde, you know, the early stealth fighters, the space shuttle. I mean, this was a period of really great learning and accomplishments. We were showcasing American ingenuity across the world stage. I also talked about really an unfortunate and recent aerospace drought. And it's a drought that lasted for probably 30 years. I mean, it got so bad that, America ceded our capability to send astronauts from our own nation for nearly a decade. And when it came to progress in the aviation field, about as wild as things really got was a recycled version of the same aircraft with maybe updated, engines and avionics. It felt like we really lost our edge. You know, we lost our will to push the boundaries. Our tolerance for risk really became near zero, and we got so comfortable, our competitors overseas were able to substantially close capability gaps. You know, but as I stood on this stage, really again 2 years ago, I mentioned there was a reason to be optimistic again. America recently had restored its capability to send astronauts to space from really just down the road at Kennedy Space Center. You know, companies like SpaceX had been catching boosters on ships. You know, Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin had really just begun their suborbital missions. New players like Rocket Lab had emerged as a really reliable orbital launch provider. And overall, you know, rocket reusability was reducing the cost to access orbit. In fact, when I was last up on this stage, I had just come back from leading the first civilian mission to orbit, something previously, unaffordable and really unimaginable. And this was really only the start. That soon there would be a wave of investment in this re-energized aerospace arena full of opportunities and discoveries on the horizon. So now, when we look back, from the last 2 years, how did things shake out? Well, James Webb Telescope went online, which has been just wowing us with incredible views from our solar system to our neighboring galaxies to really views of the oldest part of the universe. I mean, we witnessed a helicopter flying on Mars, sending back incredible footage of where we hope humans will be walking in the not too distant future. Starlink satellites are bringing connectivity to disconnected parts of the world, helping in natural disasters and conflict zones, and soon Kuiper and OneWeb satellites will be capable of doing the same things, which is really so important because access to information is really fundamental to solving so many of the world's problems. Pale in comparison to all those, but 3 months ago, I went to space again on Polaris Dawn with an absolutely incredible crew. We were supported by an army of talented engineers and scientists and technicians, and as was mentioned, we went farther into space since the last time humans walked on the moon, and 2 of my crewmates became the women who've journeyed farthest from this planet ever, which is pretty awesome. We tested the We tested the first new EVA spacesuit in decades during a spacewalk. We tested new laser communications with a global violin performance from space. Even as mentioned, we put some memory-riddle technology to work with the Llamas camera, and we continued our important goal to raise hundreds of millions of dollars for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and their very important mission. So now, in the short time since we've been back, more history has been made many times over. We witnessed Starship, which is this, skyscraper-sized rocket, fly into space and then come back to Earth to be captured again by the launch tower using chopsticks. I mean, this was a very key milestone in reusability for what will become, an interplanetary spaceship. This turns traditional spacecraft design completely upside down and changes the game with space-based refueling, which is reducing the cost materially while increasing the mass that can be accelerated to orbital and even escape velocities. I mean, this opens up so many new opportunities for experimentation in orbit and putting humankind on a path to exploring and really unlocking the secrets of the universe. Now, the next day after that launch, NASA launched Europa Clipper. And they launched a probe to investigate Jupiter's moon, Europa, on a mission to seek out life on another celestial body. I mean, this is wild stuff, and it's happening right now. There are so many exciting industry-wide projects that are underway, from Blue Origin's New Glenn that really should be launching in the very near future. I mean, and, possibly this month, to Rocket Lab's Neutron, to hypersonics, to direct-to-cell satellites, flying wing refueling tankers, a wave of autonomous, drone technologies, and we're starting to really live in the future that we all dreamed about as kids. So what I'm describing here are all proof points, proof points that we are stepping into a new era, one that demands really the best talent, motivation, perseverance in the face of adversity, and vision for a brighter and more interesting future, the qualities you have undoubtedly begun to develop here at Embry-Riddle. And I want to emphasize that with your education, the opportunities and problems to solve do not necessarily have to be among the stars. I mean, it's about taking the knowledge, the skills, and the drive that have brought you to this point and using them to solve enormous problems for the benefit of all humankind, whether you are on or off Spaceship Earth. Our collective interest in this room, our expertise, our passion for aviation and aerospace provides a profound chance to reshape the way we live, the way we connect, and really understand our world. The industry around us has shown us just a glimpse, and the best is surely left to come. The period of relative aerospace stagnation that I talked about before is over. I mean, we can look ahead to a much brighter future. I mean, there's going to be interplanetary spaceships. Heck, there are going to be factories that are making boosters and spaceships, satellites, probes, robots, lasers, space infrastructure. And this is going to happen as fast as we make airplanes today. That is the world you are entering today. And I can tell you there are so many problems to solve, so many causes to support, so many great adventures to participate in. So consider this, just as John F. Kennedy challenged a generation to reach to the moon, today you stand at the precipice of your own moonshots. I mean, we're choosing to return to the moon, to create a future on Mars and beyond, and figure out that space economy. We're going to design aircraft that travel faster, cleaner, more efficiently than they ever have, and to foster a sustainable space and aviation ecosystem. And now it's you who will make these possibilities real, working on and off the planet to create technologies that will carry our civilization across the skies, into space, and into the planets beyond. And along the way, who knows? Maybe answer some of the questions that we've all been thinking about since the beginning of humankind. So now, the path ahead, it's not going to be easy. There will be failures, there will be setbacks, and moments when the goals that you all set out to accomplish seem almost unreachable. But those are the very moments that will make you smarter and stronger. You don't get any wiser by having the ball always bounce your way. In aerospace and in aviation, failure isn't a roadblock. It's the foundation of future success story. So take landing and reusing rockets, which was a feat once completely unimaginable, and it began with some pretty spectacular explosions. It's now routine, with hundreds of examples, including one very big one recently. So imagine what this mindset could accomplish in aviation and sustainable energy and in hypersonic and supersonic travel. I mean, these are no longer distant dreams. They're the fields just waiting for pioneers like all of you. So graduates of 2024, you bring what the world needs today. You bring courage, creativity, and passion. Today, you join a legacy of innovators and engineers and scientists and technicians, pilots and astronauts who dared to imagine a future different from the present. But more importantly, you now have the opportunity and the power to be the future that prior generations, they could only watch and dream of in science fiction movies. So class of 2024, go forward, stand tall, let your ambitions be limitless, reach for the stars, and create a better Earth along the way. And Embry-Riddle Eagles, soar higher than you've ever done before. Thank you.